an initial appearance. By the way, Twisted Fate came and went. I don't understand. It was banned first round in game number 4. That's the one appearance he's had all series. I don't know what they're cooking over there, but he's... Oh, well, there he is. He's back.
Right.
I don't know. All right. I don't know.
Maybe that was the matchup they were looking for. They're like, okay, we don't want to play Twisted Fate into a Kali, and we don't want to play it into Mel now. So all of the options, we need to see volatile side lanes. Thankfully, we will not get a Seraphine bottom lane.
Ooh. All right. I like the Cassiopeia for Shanks. Blind Trundle for Tarzan. Perhaps calling out.
We need to see some flips. I want to see some flips here. We need to get some bot lane. We need to get a
Oh,
bot
is it
lane
the
that's
Vampire
gonna try to flip
Thresh?
the game.
There it is.
There we go.
The Vampire Thresh was so good a couple days ago. It was dope. I loved to see it. Some really, really great plays with the Dark Passage especially. The whole team played around it really, really well. Yeah, they were able to wreak some havoc on that one, so I'm excited to see Vampire back on that pick here. Had a lot of individual impact. I would be getting excited for Jace Jungle right now if we hadn't blinded Trundle, but now I think it's going to Flandre, blind. He will get a chance to ban to defend it. It's going to be the Cassante instead. That's better.
I think you should not be allowed to pick Jace when you see Twisted Fate on your screen, on enemy team. That just means as soon as he hits level 6, well, guys, I'm getting gold carded, and there's not much for us to do. So what lane are we going to be looking to flip? Because AL saved their bottom lane for second phase, so probably means we're going to be seeing a Sivir banned here by JDG. And what other matchups are you even going to be looking for? I mean, if you take Gnar as JDG, you have a really good early game setup, but team fights become a little bit tricky. I think it's the only remaining top lane that I would feel really comfortable with us trying to be a little bit more spicy. You could also go for Gwen, and I think Gwen gets a lot of value versus Cassiopeia and Trundle later on. So there are a few options here. I think Xiaoxu is really going to have to dig deep for a champion that is going to be able to perform, and he has been, I think, the best player on this team for all 4 of these previous games.
I do also think, I mean, this Trundle is somewhat a call out to JunJia and what champion pool he has going for himself too, right? Because you take away all of the champions fearless away, all the champions banned. The champions that JunJia have played this season remaining are Malphite, Mundo, and Sejuani. You don't want to play any of those into the Trundle if you could avoid it. So what else does he have in the tank? What else can he show us a brand new champion here that he hasn't played yet this season, or is he going to feel forced onto one of those picks?
It might be a Lilia. This could be a Lilia game for JunJia. Would be one of the best answers into Trundle. If he doesn't want that and he wants an AD, you could play Kindred. Those are kind of the 2 champions that I'm thinking, but they're very much out there. Shun is the only person we've seen play Kindred, at least here. It makes sense considering he's an old school Kindred player. Getting Lucian, does this mean we're getting Braum? Could also be Milio. Milio's disgusting, but I feel like Milio has completely dropped out of competitive meta. Like, no one wants to play this champion.
Could be good against Thresh Twisted Fate, though. I mean, Breath of Life feels kind of good in that context. If we see Aphelios, Kindred, Twisted Fate all on the same team, I'm trying to shoehorn like a Shen into that comp if I can. I gotta get some auto attack dodging on my comp if I'm seeing that team comp come through. Instead, it very well might be the Gwen here. Xiaoxu likes this matchup into the Cassante. Feels like he can be the biggest menace in the side lane here. But now there's no front line left. Now maybe JunJia is going to be forced to pick a tank into this Trundle, man. I mean, or maybe not.
We're getting another Kha'Zix game. Hey, considering what time it is,
where's
maybe
Quax
is alive. Maybe
yeah,
Quax is
somebody ping Quax. He might be awake. It's possible. Here's the Melio. It's a Melio or a Braum angle here. I like the Melio into the Thresh Twisted Fate. I'm about it.
It's been a long time since we've gotten Melio, especially here in the LPL. So, good 2v2. I think that AL have a very sturdy front line to be able to play. Almost feels like JDG are going to be a bit more of this pick composition. They can really chase you for a very long time thanks to having gold cards and Gwen. But looking on side lanes, I really like what JDG have. It's just whether or not they can actually use this. We saw in the Galio game, HongQ wasn't really moving to the other side. It was mostly about protecting JunJia. Now you have this Kha'Zix, which we haven't seen been played in a very long time for him. So What else? He is 0-2 in competitive all time. And the last time he played it was MSI 2023. He lost to Golden Guardians.
I'm blown away here. How squishy is this JDG comp, my man? Like, this is... I feel like it's going to be tough to not just get melted en route to trying to arrive at anybody. You need to be able to, like... You just need to be able to find the big flank angles and the assassinations here with your Kazakhs and your Gwen. Or just play through side lanes all day long. Because...
Yeah.
I mean, actually setting up for this, you can't play... Aphelios feels like a way out of place here, no? Like, it's going to be so difficult to set up successful scenarios for him.
Yeah, Thresh is going to hopefully have to be his only way out, but Trundle Pillar is OP as hell, man. Like, you just throw Trundle Pillar, you can stop the Dark Passage, so that's one. And then if ever Aphelios steps a little too far up, whether that's in mid lane or around an objective... Trundle Pillar, boom, he's done for. He's on the other side of the wall. He has to lose its flash almost every single time. This is going to be a very, very explosive draft here for JDG. If they can't win this one, obviously that's just the end of the series. I need to see HongQ getting early and active.
Oh, some Gyos, but also HongQ exchanging blows. We're good.
Okay.
All right.
Want to see those side lanes? This is going to be Unsealed Spellbook. We're also going for Jack of Trades, Twisted Fate, so a ton of ability haste. Means potentially more ultimates, but we need to see one of these lanes. Once he hits level 6, I want to see him jump into one of these, whether it's top lane or we're looking towards bottom lane. Braum can only do so much, and is someone that they can maybe even look to punish.
Absolutely. All right, AI. All about the AL comp this time around. So, level 1. Bot lane's duking it out. The Braum stuns are coming on through. We will get some nice early damage found on towards Vampire. The Thresh, pretty squishy in the early game. Squishier than he used to be in pretty much all stages of the game. Not really the frontliner that he once was.
They're on the same side of the map. They're probably just gonna have to recall after their first minion, after their first clears here. I guess Trundle can go through bottom side, but he is spotted on that ward. Very early aggressive invade. You saw that punishment onto HongQ. It was just them looking for something. Yeah, level 3, here we go.
Ooh, hook connects on towards Kael. He will take a turret shot for that, and that's a big one. He falls down to below 300 HP. Tarzan, though,
doing it again?
In the area. Both jugglers are here. Are we going for this? Is this happening right now? Tarzan stepping up forward.
Fake.
Already has lost half of his HP. Hook connects onto Kael. Here comes JunJia. I think they assumed he had given up and gone up towards the top side. 2 kills to JDG at 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Thank you, Tabe. This was a draft masterclass from you, brother. No way we could have known this was going to happen. They went for an early invade. Tarzan overstays on this, and now, I mean, Kha'Zix gets his entire top side. Not only that, but getting the local experience from one of those kills as well. This is a huge start for them, and now we need to see them continue to snowball this. We're going to look back. They had no vision. This is such tight timing here. Holds the wall, doesn't get spotted, and now Tarzan, yeah, he spends way too much time. I mean, Kael, if he had flash for this, he could have flash queued, put all of these stacks onto Gala, but the concussive blows never comes out. They just get so many free kills over to them. And now it's like, we're going to hit level 5 soon on HongQ. Level 6 will come after that. And you could potentially revisit this bottom lane and kill Kael again.
It's in the cards. JunJia gets a first kill on a Kha'Zix, by the way. That feels awesome.
Yep.
Once he's going to actually be able to spend some of that first blood gold. I didn't see if he got the first blood or Gala did, but I mean, that's 100 gold difference at the end of the day. Who cares? You're rocking quite the advantage one way or the other. Question is, will he be able to get the Brutalizer? Probably not at this early of a stage, but it's a great start for him either way, and it's going to be serrated Dirk.
Yeah, Dirk feels good. Probably just going for the Umbral Glaive, which did get buffed. So a little bit more damage when you are invisible on your first attack, has a bit more armor crush, so feels pretty good on that one. Saul is very close there for Flandre, who finally gets his Cassante. With how low range this comp can be, Cassante can be a decent frontliner. Just whether or not the damage is kind of behind him. And with how things are going, it is, to me at least, kind of coming down to whether or not Shanks can have another carry performance. He has been not quiet through the regular season, but maybe not having a super standout split. But Cassiopeia is in a really good spot here, I think, this game, of all games, to be a menace. I mean, she's going to have Rod of Ages, she's going to have her Seraphs, and that means that the threat of an assassination or getting blown up by things like Kha'Zix is very, very low, at least the longer this game does go on.
Yeah, Cassiopeia definitely in a really good spot here. Going to be able to melt through these health bars pretty fast. Not really the most reliable engage here for JDG, so they kind of have to walk at you. Cassiopeia loves that, loves to be walked at, and will certainly, along with this Cassante Trundle frontline, and Braum, be in a really good position to be able to counter that out. I do still really like the AL draft, despite the comedy of errors that we've just witnessed in the bottom lane. If they can keep those to a minimum, you can really see how these later game teamfight scenarios are going to pay off for them, and it's going to be a lot more about Xiaoxu in the side lane. Here's Tarzan trying to get a flash out of HongQ if they can. Doesn't look like they will be able to successfully do so. Good footwork for HongQ, avoiding the Noxious Blast there.
Tanks one more just for the road. Do you have any opinions on Cassio getting boots back? I think it's probably the most meaningful change because she kind of got screwed for all of 2025 by not having access to tier 3 boots.
Yeah, I mean they gave her a stat thing on her passive.
That was kind of cringe though.
It wasn't enough. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean the not buying boots thing was kind of goofy anyway. It's just so I'm pretty neutral on it.
Right,
Anivia buys boots. The snake can buy boots.
I just didn't understand why Cassio wasn't allowed to buy boots, but Nami was. Like, Nami's entire...
Vel'Koz.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, there's a big list.
At least put the boot on her head, you know? Like, at least make it a little bit funny if we're going to do some stupid lore stuff or give her a nothing burger passive of free MS. That was extremely useless. Now, Kha'Zix trying to go for an early invade. I mean, Twisted Fate has ultimate, so you can always kind of do this for free. Kael's going to come over and check this, but JunJia can just walk over, jump over the wall if he's ever under any real threat here. Oh, Gala steps forward, uses his flash.
All right,
and his ghost. Jesus.
Yep, there goes the summoners from Gala. So going to be potentially under a little bit of threat here if Tarzan does make a trip towards the bottom lane again. JunJia does have the level 6 advantage here, so we'll be able to get one of his evolutions on off as necessary. And should be in a good position to be able to potentially take this dragon. The only question is that HongQ is recalling at the moment, yet the fight is starting anyway. JunJia going to have his leap interrupted, go into the dark passage, going to get stunned up before he can get there, finally pulled back out to safety. HongQ's gone though, so Shanks has time to regroup with the rest of the team while that guy is walking his way back. Will have access to the Destiny Gate though.
You're always going to be worried. As soon as HongQ drops into Fog of War, you're saying, okay, Twisted Fate can be here, guys. I pushed in my wave, but I'm taking a recall, and I don't have teleport. You can see that both Hope and Shanks opted for a cleanse here in this game. They know there's only 2 pieces of CC in this game that are going to matter. It's a gold card, and it's a death sentence. So let's make sure we don't get hit by those, and that basically cuts out a lot of the threat that JDG might have in later game skirmishes, and we're having those 5-on-5 standoffs around objectives. There's going to be meaningful summoner spells to watch here in this game. Xiaoxu's trying to get that one last play. He'll finally grab it. There is a play towards these grubs, and I mean, Game 5, obviously small objective wins like this are always going to feel nice, but one team has a Gwen, and I really don't want to see them grab 5 grubs, or 3 grubs. That sounds like a miserable take to have.
Yeah, it does look like Tarzan going to be able to secure the majority of the grubs here. JunJia does not appear to have any interest in arriving, and again, HongQ's been forced back. Having a bit of a tough lane against Shanks here, who has, despite the loaded dice gold that Twisted Fate generates, that's going to give him the gold lead, he's down a lot of CS. He's down about 20 here. And it's going to be good for Shanks and going to mean that he's going to be able to continue to exert pressure there. Rod of Ages, though, done for the Twisted Fate. Finally going to be able to start scaling into the game here.
And it's done before Cassiopeia, which I think is a pretty meaningful change. He is almost level 9, and we still haven't seen him go to a side lane. Like, no attempt on the Flandre. Fine, it's Cassante, but I would really like to see them at least prep a wave or prep a dive. We have Dragon on the map at 9.5 minutes and no play on bottom side. We never punished Hope and Kael for not having summoner spells again. So another instance where HongQ just, whether it's his choice or the opponent's locking him in the lane, has not found any real angles here in this game so far. And I think that's harming JDG's potential.
JDG, note that Gala is still down both summoners here if this dragon fight is to come to pass. Shanks still pushing up in mid lane. Tarzan still farming bottom side camps. The dragon rather, under full vision. Likely going to be the target here for AL as they try to step up towards it. They're calling mid lane over as well. Xiaoxu getting a great chunk onto Flandre here, going to be able to push him back. Won't be able to finish off the kill, but with no TP, Flandre now in a rough position. Hook connects onto Tarzan. Huge damage here, but Kael's there to back him up. In comes the port from HongQ.
No!
Kael able to stop him, though, with the Unbreakable. Hope needs to find these shots on a HongQ, though, too slowed up by the box. And HongQ will stay alive, flashes forward, doesn't get the auto. Oh, man, this is all getting chaotic real fast here. Shanks flashing forward, going to be able to get the lockdown onto JunJia. Miasma holds him still, and the kill will be picked up for AL. Dragon soon to follow.
And a huge play here for AL, grabbing this dragon on top of it, man. Like, that's super dangerous. And JunJia, who had a huge lead, he has 1,000 gold over Tarzan. They're not able to burst him out. Kael uses the stand beside me. Completely cuts away at the isolation damage. Somehow, JDG still have a 1,700 gold lead, but, I mean, we'll take a look back at this play. They had no vision of this. This should have been their kill. Why is Twisted Fate not already here? You popped the Destiny Gate so early, we didn't even flash to try to kill Tarzan here, and then we do this gold card. We're going to get a slow-mo from the observers, and I think that's the sad part about this.
And we say you're mean, Alk. That's tough.
God. Just, no. Good flash from Shanks. He has absolutely been the better mid laner in this series. And showing it here, just the experience and, yeah, he did a fantastic job here in this fight.
Yeah, that's another moment where I don't know if I'm happy or sad that we don't get a top 8 shot for that, because that's tough to watch. That feels real bad if you're hoping for a JDG win here today. That dragon stacking going to get started for AL. It's still pretty late. This has not really been a dragon-centric series, especially given the year that it currently is. But that time, both teams prioritizing it heavily. And the fact that they don't get that kill down onto Tarzan going to disrupt what was looking like it could have been JDG continuing to snowball the game in their favor.
I do want to correct you. It is the year of the horse, not of the dragon. The next one is going to be 2036.
Good point.
So we have at least 10 years before it's the year of the dragon. But
take it up with Riot Games, buddy. All right, I've seen a lot of games played through dragons for a couple years in a row now.
That's been the case for like 6 years now.
Yeah, that's again. Take it up with Riot, buddy. I don't.
Last year was actually year of the.
I'll balance the game.
So.
Anyway.
No notes. No notes.
AL. Moving on up in the world. Get themselves their first dragon. Finishing up their quests. Got themselves the grubbies as well. And now, just a couple minutes away from this Rift Herald. We'll see if they want to continue to play for. Hasn't been the most impactful objective in this series. We've seen some goofy ones for certain. Oh, that dash forward from Flandre.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it matters.
He got spotted, though, on the tri-brush ward. You saw the pings immediately. And, I mean, Shanks is so powerful right now that it's really tough. You can see that HongQ's sitting behind his turret right now. And the fact that Cassiopeia, not only in a lane versus Twisted Fate, but gets to stay this far up in the lane with a Kha'Zix on JDG, that should be heresy. This guy should be dead. He has no flash, and there's no attempt from them. So JDG are just kind of sitting around, cycling camps. This is giving AL time to scale in this game. I mean, again, like we're 4 minutes behind of Rod of Ages, and I don't think it really even matters for AL. They're going to always be more relevant in this game. They have better frontline, better engagement as the game goes on. So when are we going to see this Twisted Fate do anything? That's kind of my worry right now.
Yeah, we have not seen an impactful Destiny gate yet. The one that has occurred was that botched fight earlier. I mean, HongQ doesn't have flashback yet, but yeah, not getting the chance to really do very much with this pick. That was clearly a big priority for JDG. I mean, him pairing up with JunJia to get this Kha'Zix rolling feels like it's got to be a big priority here. It's also kind of a question of where do you go, right? Braum does a good job of hosing you, as does K'Sante. There's not really great targets to gank with this Twisted Fate. Instead, he's going to be getting ganked. JunJia here to bail him out as he pops the Ghost.
He steals the respawn Raptors. They're going to see if they can make another play. Some more plates on the bottom side. Ale instead are going to go for a trade. They're just going to say, look, you've decided to put all your members on bot side. They don't know that the Kha'Zix is here, but should just be the Herald as well. And remember, Ale, they have 3 grubs here. This is really, really dangerous to be giving over, I think, from JDG's perspective. It's gold into Gala's pocket, and maybe he'll be the big one to kind of basically carry this team across the finish line. I want to take a moment to talk about the through lines of these last 2 Game 5s from JDG. All series long, both versus AL now and Top Esports. JunJia has had much tougher series, but in Game 5s, he really comes alive. I don't know what it is about the drafts now. Xiaoxu
getting a little dove here. Will be able to absorb it without too much trouble. And the popping of Destiny is going to cause AL to back away. But, I mean, that's your second cast of Destiny, brother. And it's to spook people away from diving Xiaoxu. Now Flandre here for the Dragon, going to stop them from soloing it, or duoing it, I suppose. And here comes the rest of AL, ready to respond in turn. They know there's no Destiny. There's no Unseen Predator as well. That's Kha'Zix passive. I don't remember what the ulti is called. But either way, not going to be able to get on in with that one. And the Dragon now going to be AL's to take.
So many small mistakes here from JDG, and somehow they have a 3,500 gold lead. It doesn't feel like that, I'll be honest. With where the game state is right now, I feel like AL are really, really comfy with the spot they're in. JunJia taking a disgusting flank to try to steal this, but Tarzan and Shanks are on their way. They're just coming back to their jungle camps. Cool, you jumped away, you're going to run into Kael. Maybe they just pick out the Braum.
Oh, there's a cleanse from Kael. He's going to try to walk his way out of this one, and looks like it's going to work. JunJia grabs the Dark Passage, says, I'm not chasing this Braum any further. I don't know what's waiting for me in those bushes.
All right, so I'll give you the Kha'Zix passive is actually Unseen Threat, and Void Assault is
Void Assault. All right, yeah, I don't know. That's...
And it is the, well, I guess they are different names. Never mind. I was going to say the Kha'Zix abilities are usually just evolved and then whatever, but they all do change their names, so...
I know it's Evolve Active Camouflage. I know that name.
Nope, you're actually still wrong. It's Adaptive Cloaking. Just fries in the back, brother. Just put the fries in the back. You called Victor Ultimate Chaos Stormer. That's how I know you're old.
Well, I could have told you I'm old, but Active Camouflage must also me being old, because it was definitely called Active Camouflage at some point.
Whatever you say. We actually, I could just gaslight you and say that was never the case.
You could. It wouldn't work though. Even if you could demonstrate to me that it was never the case, I'm gonna convince myself here. I'm locked in on this one. But Shanks coming on up from the bottom lane, keep JunJia out of this river. Operation prevent Scuttles from going to JDG is a go. Despite 3.5K gold lead, not able to push into this team comp. The Braum, the Cassiopeia, the whole AL comp is so effective at stopping this JDG comp from being able to push into them.
Got Herald, they've got 3 grubs. I mean, this is going to be a big injection of gold with these plates going over. Twisted Fate's pushing on side. I mean, like, when are we ever going to get value here? It almost feels like JDG, they know that if they make a mistake, they're going to lose the game. But from my point of view, it feels like if they don't do anything, they're also going to lose this game. So at some point, you kind of have to just call your shot, look for something, even if it's just killing K'Sante or taking him out of the lane so that Gwen can take this top tier one. I am really, really worried for them. And as AL, sure, you'll take the Game 5 victory, but it kind of comes at from your inactivity of your opponent, and that's a win's a win at the end of the day. I won't complain too much.
Certainly, I mean, AL are going to be willing to like let this game play on out. So, like you said, it's going to have to be a trigger pull from JDG. It's going to have to be a moment chosen. Here's a moment chosen right here, but it's onto the Braum. Kael absorbs the gold card. Says, Hope, you are perfectly safe, my friend. Tarzan is here for the backup, and that's a third Destiny used, Alk, and still no kills to show for it.
Ooh. Dark Passage absolutely saving his life. And we did this, by the way, for Cassio to now grab all of this turret in bot lane. I hope the Observer showed thank you. He just gets this entire turret, and he does. I don't even care that he doesn't have the teleport for this, right? There is under no threat that this Baron's going over to JDG. JunJia's trying to get damage. He's a subjugate.
Tarzan's gonna fight him. Tarzan takes this 1v1, says, come at me, bro. Hope shows up. Hope looking for one more auto. Will find it. He's gonna die over to HongQ, though. And it will be his support picked off as well. Quick little 2-for-1. AL maybe get a little big for their britches there. Feel too confident watching Tarzan do well in the 1v1 and give up a little more than they had to.
That's really big. I mean, this is a 2-item Kha'Zix. If there's ever a game for JunJia to really have the game, this is going to be it. Gala is also picking up a fair amount of gold here in this play, not just from those 2 kills, but just in general has been doing really, really well. On Vision is Tarzan. I mean, his Cassio is farming up. Sure, you can see how much damage this Kha'Zix is able to do if he can get onto the right targets. But it's also a very expensive trade. Flash from Hope, that is something that JDG can look to punish. And he also doesn't have Cleanse, so maybe they might try to use this to get themselves even more within the next 3 minutes.
That's got to be the goal. Oh, Xiaoxu finds himself an angle up against Flandre. He wants this kill. Tarzan up in his face, going to try to slow him down. The needles graze Flandre, but they don't take him down. And a 1K gold lead to Xiaoxu feels pretty good, as does 2 items, but this turret going to add to that lead. That's going to need to be their focus. JDG in the side lane. This Gwen, huge strength for them.
Oh, JunJia took the portal. They know he's on this side of the map, and it's completely warded out. Remember, no ultimate for this Gwen if she comes. Oh, no.
They're just going to pull the trigger onto HongQ. He's about to get stunned. Dark Passage bails him out yet again. Here comes Flandre off the TP. It is a 5-on-5 for Dragon number 3. Vampire going to get stunned up first here. Does connect a hook. It's on to Kael. Kael going to be able to back on away in time. Triple knockback found by Flandre into the miasma. Moonlight Vigil comes out. Smite is successful for Tarzan. Soul point secured. And AL can back away now if they want to, but they might see an opportunity to get a little bit more. Flandre up in the front line. Noxious Blast connecting. HongQ getting ticked down lower and lower by these Twin Fangs. And JDG will back away. AL get what they came for.
Yeah, guess what, JDG? You still have a 3,000 gold lead, but what do you have to show for it? You are down 3 dragons in this game, and very little gained from this standoff around the objective. Sure, you got a teleport out from Cassante, but I love to be in AL's shoes right now. I have a 2-item Cassio. We're going to have 3 items and an Infinity Edge coming on through for Hope soon. There's that AI graph, and I'll agree with you on this one. 61% chance. I'd give them another 5 or 8% on that one, honestly. It is looking way better for them here in this game number 5. An important one. Again, winning this gains you at least top 3 in the season, and potentially even one step closer to just making the finals outright. And this is AL trying to straight up dominate this playoffs. 3-0 start versus WE, 5 games versus JDG, but that won't really matter, right? History is written by the victors.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that game number 2 ever again if AL is able to close out this series. Maybe a little bit in the next pre-show. We'll see. But beyond that, we'll be willing to put that one to bed if AL are able to walk away with it at the end of the day. I do want to reclaim my Mr. Positive title here a little bit and say something good about JDG. Vampire Thresh remains quite good. I've been impressed with it yet again. I think he has bailed HongQ out and JunJia out of so many dicey situations here. It feels like JDG could have been out of it already had he not always been in position, always had the W ready for him.
So I did some digging because there's nothing going on and we're not getting HongQ ult anyway. You were right about the ultimate. active camouflage, or evolved active camouflage.
Oh my god, we're going back to this?
Would
okay,
you
it
be
used to be
able
called...
would you be able to guess when that was changed?
I'm going to say 2020.
No. Season 6, 2016.
Ooh!
Yeah, 6/22 is when they changed it. So,
well, stop changing stuff, Riot. I don't, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's never going to leave my memory, so maybe just stick with it. I still call him Ninja Tabby, too. I think that was probably around the same time.
That's fair. That's fair. You know, I will cut HongQ some slack. Remember, we talked about that the cleanse is always going to be super valuable. And now I look at Mikael's being done for Kael. This Twisted Fate is just losing value, and you're going to be level 16 soon, but it's just not even like a real, like, there's no real side pressure. It is all Xiaoxu, and it's all JunJia. It kind of comes down to them, and Gala has been good, but he needs the setup in the fights. It is near impossible for him to do very much in these. So if we can burst out a target, that's kind of my goal. And if we have a massive Aphelios ultimate, maybe it is just there. The flat lethality he has from his kit. He has Collector. He's going for LDR. Also, we're in 26-3. Where are my Hex Optics, guys?
It's a good question. But it's, I mean, you're talking about the frontline setup for Gala. It's what frontline setup for Gala? Like, it's hard to even imagine what a good scenario looks like. There's just nobody on JDG's team comp that can tank like 4 or 5 Cassiopeia E's. It's the champion's just not there. There's nobody that's capable of doing such a thing.
Well, now they're under threat. If you're JDG, there is a Hex Tech Soul in a minute. You've completed some pretty big items. RFC just completed for HongQ. This looks like it's going to be LDR. It's going to instead be Immortal Reminder. Makes sense with having a Cassio and more specifically a Trundle in the game. Trying to see if there's any big... You look on the opposite side, though. Hope finishes in Infinity Edge. It's not really what you want if you're JDG right now.
No, it is not. HongQ stepping up, finds a gold card, but it's too little too late. Rylai's working overtime for Shanks. Love that selection for this game in particular. Tarzan gets a nice pillar on it too. JunJia can't get
walk
through.
out.
He's stuck. Door's stuck. Door's stuck as JunJia flashes back over the wall to try to keep himself alive. Will be able to stay standing. Nobody falls from JDG, but what about the follow-up? Still going to be exchanging some blows back and forth here, Alk.
This is good. I like this, though. You got the ultimate out from Braum and from Lucian. This is as good as it's going to get for them. They'll have push in mid, but right now it's all about the Dragon. Flandre is so damn tanky. The only people who can kill him right now is this Gwen and Aphelios. Dragon's being started, and AL, it seems like instead they're going to play around the mid wave and see if they can maybe get a little bit more. Maybe find someone out. Get maybe even this Twisted Fate.
Now, one gold card did take Hope for about half of what he was worth there. Another one connects onto Kael. That's some big damage here. In goes the engage onto Flandre. Moonlight Vigil takes down one. Flandre's basically out of health. Gala running amok. Destiny onto the back line. This time it finds a kill. Double kill, triple kill to Gala. And he comes alive. JDG get their first Dragon of the game, and they get 3 kills while they're at it. They're making a beeline right for the Baron.
That play around the choke where the ultimate, the culling from Hope, didn't get anybody, that might have just cost them the entire game here. JDG not only stopped the Dragon Soul from going over, but also grabbed themselves a Baron and multiple kills. Maybe finally stepping into this game comfortably with 3 items. I mean, we were worried about this early game. AL had looked so good for so long here in this game, but this pick never ends up materializing. Hope, on the other side, why are we playing with our Braum here? I feel bad because Shanks is so damn powerful, but the Hollowed Mist is getting a ton of value in this fight, and even with Braum trying to stop this ultimate from Gala, he has too much damage, and you don't have enough HP in this instance.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I guess you can get away with frontline not at a top A. Is in another world, brother. I can't believe that. But
the Lion does not concern himself with his assistant coaches.
All right, we're back. Is it throwable? Yeah, just pull it up. Here's the question, especially given that we do not like the team comp here for JDG. They were able to pull away that last one, though. They just got so many rotations of gold cards into harassment. Flash over the wall from Tarzan, right on top of Gala. Flandre coming in from the backside. Tarzan's going to die for this, but they get the isolated all out on a Gala. Now Xiaoxu launching himself into a 1 versus 3. Mist not going to keep him alive. Petrifying Gaze onto 2. Pull back in on to Vampire, and 3 kills go the way of AL.
Wow, what an insanely close fight. I mean, Tarzan, don't get this away. I want to look at the items. Oh my god, that was an expensive fight. Nothing gained for this Baron, by the way, from JDG, who still have it on a few members. Very risky. You can see how Vampire, I love the positioning from him in this one. Trying to stay over the wall, whether it's to protect Gala, but invested the death sentence. He's trying to kill Tarzan. I love what the solo laners of AL do here. Flandre immediately books it right onto Gala. We see the flash from this Cassiopeia. They know their objective is to get rid of this Aphelios. And Xiaoxu, while he's in the back line, hell, we'll take that shutdown too. Really, really good fight. And this is all about the carries here. The solo laners, I think, stepping up massively for anyone's legend.
There we go. There's a room where all the coaches are letting the emotions take hold of them in this game number 5.
I think that was the team
AL
manager. I'm pretty sure that was Ahwe. Is their videographer. There we go. We got to meet him at MSI, actually. It's very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, this game is tense, man. Now the game 5 is actually kind of kicking.
It is. It's kind of hitting now. 1 dragon away from the Soul here. 5K gold lead to JDG. Still, the question is always going to remain, Xiaoxu, very strong in the side lane. Can't really be effectively matched by anybody on AL. In the 5-on-5, if AL are able to pull the trigger, they can win out on these. And if nothing else proves that, the fact that Flandre just raw flashed over red buff wall to start queuing Gala won them a team fight. I don't know what will prove it. As any engage will do, you just have to start the 5-on-5 before you get harassed down to nothing.
By any means necessary. Look,
because it's still called spike racks, isn't it? Those are doing a lot of damage.
Yes, it is. It is in fact evolved spike racks. So I'm
see, they didn't change all of them.
No. Control of mid lane. Xiaoxu's gonna have to join in after. That is the edge of night gone. Let's see, maybe if they look for something. I mean, 30 seconds before this dragon again, super tense, and no eyes on Gwen right now.
Now there's eyes on Gwen, spotting her coming on in from the top side. JunJia, though, deep behind enemy lines. I think Hope might have seen him. It's hard to tell. Yeah.
Such weird battle lines here. Oh, HongQ, no!
There's another dark passage to pull him out to safety. Once again, Vampire's clutch with it. Gets his boy out of danger, but that's a huge chunk. HongQ trying to channel a recall, uses the Empower from that mid lane quest 2026 here to try to help get HongQ out of this one as he TPs back on in and the dragon gets started. JunJia stealth up in the front line with not active camouflage. One more pillar going to slow up Gala. Flandre coming in into the dragon pit, trying to push out the opposing jungler. Goes for the all-out, pulls JunJia out to the other side, but the dragon's not losing any health. Instead, it's Tarzan taking damage from Xiaoxu. Xiaoxu's still going to be able to stay standing inside of the dragon pit. JunJia's right back in there. The all-out didn't accomplish anything, and the dragon is falling lower and lower. It goes the way of JDG. No soul this time for AL as they try to back away from the rest of the fight. Cassante was able to get a recall. He's trying to TP back in. Now they want to be able to cut off the escape route and find the fight on the back end. More poke coming on through from Gala, though these health bars are getting whittled lower and lower. This is the recipe for failure that AL have shown before. JDG, get another dragon, get out without having to take a bad team fight. It's another win for them.
I look back to something you said where Cassiopeia loves when folks are walking into her, but if you're already on the objective, as Cassiopeia, what do you do in this situation? You don't have something like a Thresh to try to fish for engages with his hook. You don't have a HongQ gold card with RFC. So if AL are not immediately on an objective, that becomes even more difficult for them to even look for fights there. Very little in terms of engagements. Flandre tries to take JunJia out of the pit, but Tarzan can never walk in. He doesn't have enough resistances in this instance to do anything in these fights, so very, very disciplined engage there. And JDG, all of their misgivings, terrible early in the series, but maybe they are just 5-game merchants. Maybe they just do better when they have more time in a series.
Oh, Vampire! Can't Dark Passage himself, but does manage to step himself out of danger for now. Miasma's down. No team fight to be had here yet. Tarzan wants it, though. Trying to get a pillar onto somebody. JunJia able to leap himself out to safety. And there is no fight to be had. Flash over
Kael!
for Kael. I may have spoken too soon. Stun connects onto Xiaoxu. Hope trying to dash forward, but Xiaoxu's able to get himself out of there as well. And AL trying their best, cannot find a route in. Great stasis from Shanks. Avoids a big Moonlight Vigil, but that is not a team fight.
Kael trying to force it. I think that AL recognized that this game is very much out of their control. Dark Passage again, Shanks!
Petrifying Gaze gets the stun and the slow onto one apiece, but not enough to be able to take the team fight. TP in from Xiaoxu, 5 members strong once again. Destiny into the back line. HongQ finds a stun. It's on towards Tarzan. Kael able to fend away the spikes. And no engage found by JDG. The dance will continue.
All Fog of War here. Flandre tries to step up, but there's no TP for this Cassiopeia, thanks to them going for the cleanse. No flash either. And no cleanse now for this Lucian. Kael's is on cooldown for the next 30 seconds. There might be a window here where JDG look to start up this Baron. You can see it's red-white for Aphelios. He's going to move into white and green, and that just means complete zone coverage. AL are again going to have to walk into this objective.
It's too late. They can't get out of this Baron in time. It's already fallen on down. JunJia's over the wall, starting to get some chunk damage out of Tarzan. Vampire will fall, the only casualty of the fight so far. And JDG are able to retreat. 4 members wearing purple.
Such a tense game here. I mean, I was so excited to have Shanks as this Cassiopeia mega threat here in this game with a soul on their backs, but multiple fights in a row, we have seen that now JDG have a unbreakable line. They don't have a traditional like tank in their game, but with the Dark Passage and with the threat of potentially getting gold carded, AL have no ways of actually properly stepping forward. This is such a magnificent turn, and while a dangerous draft, I think, for JDG to operate through the early game, they have navigated this mid and late game beautifully. I will give them their flowers in this instance for doing such a great job, and you can see that AL don't have very many tools, even despite all of the cleanses and the abilities to get rid of these CCs.
Yeah, and they just haven't been able to be the first ones onto these objectives. JDG have been able to maintain map control for enough of the game and for long enough and consistently enough that they do not have to walk into AL. They don't have to start these fights, and it's not because they aren't playing the objectives. It's not because they're exclusively side laning. It's because they're making collapses onto Shanks on the side lane. Down goes Cassiopeia, TP in from Flandre. He needs to try to get out of here with his life. They're at risk of losing the game here. The base going to likely be broken open during this death timer. Flandre still able to keep himself out. That's a waste of Kael's.
Yep.
Xiaoxu into the back line, trying to get onto Hope. Maybe reaching a little bit too far here. They will be able to back away. Opened up with the culling. Damage found onto Xiaoxu. Damage found on towards
That's it
as well. And they're going to try to end the game here. 30 seconds to go. There's no Cassiopeia. They're going to have to take this fight. 4 versus 5. Dash in from Flandre. Double knockup. In with the all-out. Xiaoxu chops him down. Onto Hope. And everybody on AL just cannot stand and fight without Shanks. JDG, against all odds, come up in game number 5.
18 kill game. That was a relatively bloodless game, but small objective skirmishes. And while it was a quieter early game, yet again, HongQ, I mean, he just realized how much value this Twisted Fate gets in these standoffs in the 5-on-5s. Really, really good stuff from JDG. Again, one of the few teams that can take best of 3s off of AL, and now have taken a full best of 5 versus our best team from the regular season.
Itabe wins the Tabe Bowl, baby. He comes on out on top. And you've got to be kicking yourself for that game number 2 if you're anybody in the Anyone's Legend organization at this point. A series where a lot of early games went their way. A lot of drafts we felt like went their way, especially in these back 2 games, but JDG pull out some very, very clutch team fighting in games 2 and 5. playing on the very edge as well in that game number 5. Difficult to execute team comp that they show up with. And just a clean game number 4 as well. Or clean game number 3, rather.
We try not to think about game number 4.
We don't talk about game number 4. That's one of those ones that history is going to forget, like we were talking about earlier.
Maybe, I think the strategy now to beat JDG is just to do it in 3-0 fashion. You cannot let these guys warm up in series, because we saw them absolutely turn it around, and I don't really want to sugarcoat it all that much. This series was in AL's hands. They could have won game 2, but a small error.
Easily.
And again, hope in these big series falls flat. This Lucian, after a while, we're throwing Cullens to the wind. We're shooting ghosts.
Yeah, struggling to find their fights here. I mean, the fact that they could not get these fights started, the fact that they have such a compositional advantage, and their win con is basically just to be able to show up to these objectives and set up. The fact that they aren't able to find ways to do that, just a huge, huge black mark on this series for anyone's legend. The fact that this wasn't able to be executed by them, they find themselves forced into a position where they're just fishing with glacial fissures, no pun intended, trying to get these fights started, trying to find these knockups, and that's the only option they had. That and flash pillars from Tarzan. Not being able to find these engages cost them massively, and despite some goofy HongQ stuff that shall not go named, AL cannot close it out, and JDG are able to get their Aphelios scaled into the game. They're able to play a weird pseudo frontline with this Kha'Zix Gwen absorbing poke and dishing back out more than they take, and they come out with the win.
Yeah, I'm down for a Vampire MVP, honestly. This guy was absolutely smurfing it in this game, and while the damage may not be there, while maybe the part of the intangibles, this champion had so much value this game. Early Mikhails from him, great use of the Dark Passage as well, and he didn't have to really fish for hooks, but gave his team the options for it, and I think that's what makes a good champion in a good draft, right? So I'll take egg on my face. I was not excited about this. I had my worries, especially from what we had seen from HongQ for most of, what was this, 5-game series tonight, but, you know, I was wrong, and that was a really, really well executed five-man from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really just good team comp for them. You know, some mistakes here and there, but Vampire's able to cover those holes very, very well, and at times bait AL into unfavorable positions thanks to that, right? And they have enough mobility around the map, enough TPs, Destiny, whatever else you may need, to be able to get yourself back in a position once those engage tools are absorbed. And there's enough of them around that if you're able to cancel out one of the few efforts that you get with a Thresh Dark Passage, that's it. It's cooked for AL.
I'm going back to that Mel ban. I think if they had Mel, maybe this is a completely different game. Just having the ability to throw back spells at your opponents.
Yeah,
again,
a way to win the poke war.
Exactly. Death Sentence, throwing back gold cards, and even Aphelios ultimates, that could have been a big game changer here. Crazy. Crazy to think that this could have been done a lot. This series could have been done a lot earlier. Congratulations to JDG. We do have our updated bracket here coming on through. We can take a look at what the rest of the playoffs look like now. Tomorrow is going to be Weibo versus BLG, a very fun match. Elk versus his former team. And now it's AL versus the winners of IG and IP. I feel like that's a bit of a layup for them. I'm looking at who their opponents might be once we get past some of those lower bracket semifinals or quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that AL is down there now, I mean, they will play against the winner of IG and IP based on how the bracket is going to be structured. That'll be an interesting series to check out. I mean, they'll be certainly favored in that matchup regardless, but LPL looking open, looking wide open after that AL loss. I mean, they were first place by a decent margin in the regular season, and JDG were looking, I would say, the shakiest of the top 4 teams coming out of quarterfinals with how they looked up against top esports. Top Esports now kind of getting themselves in the conversation in retrospect for how well they were able to do against JDG. All right, maybe you don't think so, but
remember, most of those games were throws. Okay,
this is true, but
very similarly to some parts of this series.
Are we gonna stop throwing? Who's gonna stop throwing, Alk? When are they gonna do it? Because AL did it this series.
The spirit of Otacon still lies in the room with us. We might need a seance for the Suzhou stage. We need to just get rid of the Otacon throws, guys. He's not in the game anymore. We don't got to do this. But wow, what an incredible series. Obviously from both teams. I'm sad to see AL, but this just means that we get more best of fives from them. And JDG ending top 3, I think, is kind of within the goal of what they wanted. The overall kind of target for this team and this organization is to redeem themselves from last year and go to internationals and represent the LPL. It may not happen at first stand, but I'm rooting for them either way. I mean, now they really want to at least make a splash, go to an MSI, go to a World Championship later on in the year, and hopefully go back to the international stage. It's been a little bit of time since we got to see them, especially after what was a really disappointing 2024 end, with Ruler and the boys over there.
Yeah, definitely. And now trying to get back to first stand in a way that very, very few players in the world are going to be able to do. Very much in play for the likes of JunJia and HongQ, right? They might be the only ones to do it. The way things are currently going. So, huge stuff for them. Huge win for them. Add that Kha'Zix to JunJia's champion list. He does play
non-tank. There you go. He finally won. He got his first competitive win.
True. True. Congratulations to Kha'Zix. Congratulations to Quacks. He'll get to tweet about this, I'm sure. You know, it's a win across the board today for everybody but AL.
They got some wins. They just didn't win the series, you know. Small victories. Small victories. But we are waiting for... I guess we don't really have to wait unless... who do we think player of the series is going to be? Because there's going to be a player of the game and a player of the series. Player of the game for this Game 5, I think it should be Vampire. Vampire definitely earned his stripes in this one, and starting to turn some heads, I think. Because this guy is very quickly running the ladder in terms of who he's beating. While he didn't win the Bard game, I'm still really excited about him potentially having a rematch versus Kael at some point. Maybe not here in Split 1, but later on in the year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also think, for series, I think Xiaoxu very much in the running here. I think his Gwen game at the end here is real solid. He has his Jax game was good. He's had some great performances throughout, and against Flandre too, who was getting a lot of praise from us coming into this series. I think it was a great performance. That'd be my pick personally. Agree with Vampire for game number 5. I just don't know that you can give it to him for the whole series.
Yeah, I think game 1 and game 4s are probably pretty big indictments. The Nautilus was something. That was surely something to behold.
Yeah. I guess you got to give him the credit for the Aurora game too, because he's the only one who did anything. So, with that said, I mean, they're interviewing Tabe in the background right here. I'm sure he's thrilled coming up with that win up against his former team. JDG will be top 3 in this winter split. They will be moving on to the winter side finals to be played in the upcoming days. But that's going to do it for our time on the broadcast here today. Only one series a day from here on out. We'll be back tomorrow with the other semifinal, of course, which is going to be between Weibo and BLG. Yeah, so that's also going to be a spicy one. I mean, everything's on the table here. These teams all neck and neck in the regular season standings. We'll find out who plays up against JDG off of that best of 5, and then we'll be getting into the lower bracket, start eliminating some teams. It's sure to be a bunch of fun, so we hope to see you there. But that is going to do it for tonight's broadcast. I want to say thank you very much to our elite coffee supporters, Aaron Soup and Mung, for their pledged financial support. It helps level up the broadcast and give back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an English LPL product each and every day. We love to do it. Appreciate the support. Hope for everybody to be back